All right.
So
We're live. So you have Tourette's.
No, I don't have Tourette's, but I sometimes feel I have a form of Tourette's because sometimes a song comes in my head and I just have to sing it out loud. I once got in trouble from Tracy. We were walking to a very nice steak restaurant.
Right.
I can't remember which one, but it was a steak restaurant. And just out of nowhere, I started belting out "Mother" by Danzig. Yeah, but out of nowhere, we're just walking, and all of a sudden I just go "Mother."
So how did you get in trouble for that?
Because we were in a classy place.
Who gives a fuck? It's a classy song.
Well, I understand that.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Like, that happens to me all the time, but literally from like the second I wake up, I'll have a song stuck in my head. The other day, I think I went 3 days with Tiny Dancer stuck in my head.
Tony Danza?
Yeah, Tony Danza. So yeah, that was stuck in my head pretty much for like an entire weekend.
Blue jeans, baby.
No, I think it was just mostly the chorus.
lady.
No, what was the other part that got stuck in my head?
Seems just for
The
the
ballerina.
band.
Ballerina must have seen it. So it's been a while, huh?
It's been 2
weeks? I've been MIA. Yeah, this
Yeah.
one falls on me. I've been so busy. The other day I realized I didn't train for like 4 weeks. I literally all I did was work. I've been so fucking busy the last couple of weeks. Everything from filming for Polaris, shooting for Tatami, and then I had a conference last week that I had to present and host and do a bunch of other stuff. So I've been running pretty ragged. I really, really got tired this weekend and finally hit the wall. Somehow I didn't get sick. I've been eating those airborne tablets.
Yeah.
Like twice a day. I'm just popping them like candy.
Well, you know what the key to that, the key to airborne and all that shit is zinc.
Yeah.
Take zinc.
Yeah.
Zinc will keep you healthy.
But see, like, I take the zinc too, and then I just needed it. Like, everybody I've been around has been sick. So for me, it's been, I'm not going to say that it was that did it, but I definitely think that it was a help. And in the meantime, how about I join here? It says sup. What did yours say?
Sup.
Sup. Cheers.
Or backwards it says puss.
That's gross.
Puss.
So yeah, been super busy. How's the new gig?
Good, man.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Did you write an
Great.
article yet, or what's going
Well, that's
on?
all I do is I write articles all day long.
What was like the very first article you wrote?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh wow, then you clearly
It's
wasn't that important of an article.
It's been it's like 24 articles ago.
Really? That's
Yeah,
good.
so
You're
it's like
pounding
I
them out.
do 2 a day.
Flip that switch on, huh?
What's one?
The light. What do we got here? I was actually gonna buy another one the other day. The Marshalls or whatever. I was going out of business and they had one of these that was like multicolored and it changed colored, but I figured it was $10 I can save for something
Why
else.
am I looking at the shoe on the table?
So this shoe is actually, as cheesy as it is, this is kind of, I don't know, it means a lot to me because it was given to me by Henry Hooft and his wife, and I had him sign it. They gave me the shoe to wear, and I was like, it doesn't really fit that much, but will you sign it?
What size is it?
13.
That's my size.
I'm happy for you. You're just not getting this pair.
Show the camera.
Yeah, thank
it
you
to
very
me.
much to Henry Hooft, who's actually one of the coaches of our brand new welterweight champion, Kamaru Usman.
Kamaru Usman. Yeah, and, well, the shoe was like it's one of the part of the swag that they give the team at the UFC. So it's like he didn't just give them a shoe out of nowhere. It was just
So for people that don't know, if you watch the UFC, you'll see now clearly that everybody's sponsored by Reebok. But what happens is when a fighter comes in, they get kitted out with everything. So everybody on the team will get a big bag, shoes, shirt, everything. So they can't be in front of the cameras wearing, an awesome Chocoloha shirt or something. They have to wear some shitty Reebok stuff. But obviously coaches like Henry Hooft are there almost every other week, if not every week. So he's constantly packed up with gear, so he's not going to hold on to everything. And I guess this time around they gave him a shoe that didn't fit. So they were nice enough to ask me if I wanted it, and I said sure. So he signed it. This was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. So yeah, I've been trying to find an awesome spot for it, so it's staying here for a while.
yeah.
That's
But
for sure.
why'd you put it on the table?
Because it's signed and it's cool, and we've been changing what's on the table pretty much every time, so switching it up. How cool? So did you watch the fight?
Of course, I watched
How
the
good?
fight.
All right. I mean, there's other stuff I wanted to talk about real quick, but how good was that fucking fight card?
That was great.
That was
it was
an
great.
awesome
Like I
fight
was
card.
like when it first started, like that Cody Garbrandt,
Pedro
Munoz.
I wish we could have gotten Pedro to be on the podcast before that, so it's going to be impossible to get him on the podcast now.
Yeah, but like holy shit, that was like that's the kind of fight that you.
That's
like,
the fight that nobody would expect. Like, if someone were to plan the fight and they would tell Pedro what not to do, that's guaranteed what they would tell him not to do. But they don't realize he's got hands. He's got pretty solid hands.
Well, obviously.
He's just a black belt, badass motherfucker on the ground. Obviously, he went for a heel hook. He's like from a clinch. So, excuse me. So that was like, oh shit. He could have finished that too, but I think it was just he didn't get the cinch in at the right spot. Hopefully, I'm actually going to ATT tomorrow, so hopefully he's there.
It was like. By the way, Cody has lost by that same punch the last 3 times.
Yeah.
That left hook has put him out the last 3 fights he's been in.
Look, Cody he's such a good fighter and his boxing is solid, but I think he's still just one-dimensional. I mean, he's got okay wrestling.
But he allows himself
to get sloppy.
No, not to get sloppy, to get pulled into a non-technical fight.
Yeah.
What made that fight against him and Dominic Cruz so masterful is he didn't get pulled in.
Yeah, he got super
he
technical.
He used his technique.
Yeah.
It was him and Pedro just biting down on their fucking mouthpieces.
Well, it was him at first, and Pedro's like, oh, we can fucking do this.
Yeah.
We can definitely do this. And it's funny because if you notice...
he landed on Pedro.
Right.
Pedro's got a chin and a half.
But if you notice, Pedro made the adjustment. Cody didn't. So they were both doing the same thing. Wind back, duck, and chuck it, right? So the first time they both hit each other, and then Pedro's like, oh, I'm just going to duck lower. So he chucked it, and he went super low on the second one. That's why he got missed. He's completely slipped under it, and that's the one that landed. So shout out, congratulations to Pedro. Congratulations to Kamaru. Kamaru put on a fucking wrestling clinic as far as just what you need to do to win.
He made... Well, but wait, let's stop before we get to that. Let's talk about...
Don't you dare fucking bring up Robbie and...
Ben Askren.
That's such a bullshit fight. I don't know who in the fucking gods of MMA that Ben Askren is blowing, but he got so lucky on that fight. He got so lucky. And Herb Dean, I even made a post about it. Herb Dean has been fucking up more in the past year than he has in the last, 5 or 8.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like he's the best ref out there, but all of a sudden...
He's just tanking it.
He's taking it. But at the same time, I saw Robbie's hand go limp.
But he was just relaxing. He was sitting there like, all right, just go ahead, keep squeezing. He's just could have sat there all day. I've watched Robbie go fucking toe-to-toe and been in worse situations and not go out and not pass. I personally watched it 5 feet away.
When you saw him pick Ben Askren
and
up, slam him on his head. There was
at
the best.
I may have gone slightly 10% like I love you, Robbie.
So I saw the best meme on Instagram about it. It was the picture of Robbie.
So you're wondering how I got here.
No. It was shout out to Ben Askren for not dying.
Yeah.
but I watched it at the Ale House with the XFN crew.
All right.
And there was a lot of ATT guys. So I was sitting at a table with Cole, or not Cole, Blake.
Right. You don't even fucking know who was there.
Oh my gosh, it's Cole's brother.
Cole Miller's brother?
Cole Miller's brother.
Right. Jim?
Micah. And so we were all sitting, and everybody just, when they saw what, and then when he was after the slam, we all jumped up, and then Robbie's fucking teeing off on his face. We were like, "Oh, this is gonna be."
They were gonna stop it. He was gonna stop the fight.
Gonna stop the fight.
They should have stopped the fight. At one point, he hit him so hard his neck snapped, and Herb didn't stop it. And oh man, it's such bullshit because Robbie was just wide awake. He's sitting there, gave him a thumbs up,
and then as soon as he opened it, Robbie's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, like
and you saw the look on Herb's face.
It's like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah,
like
but look, here's the thing. Even though Robbie got an L on his record, he didn't lose that fight.
No, he won that fight a minute, 2 minutes before
that doesn't. So
that's why Ben Askren is like, no rematch,
no rematch. Yeah, I wouldn't want a rematch either after going into a fight with a Savage.
And that's the best part because now they saw Ben Askren going against an actual good MMA fighter that has good wrestling, stuffs his takedowns. So Ben Askren's takedowns aren't all so fucking amazing that everybody's worried about it. There's no way he can handle. If he can't handle Robbie's punches like that in the first minute, 2 minutes, he's gonna get eaten alive. He's gonna get eaten alive. Who else is he gonna fight?
I don't know, but did you see his post after the fight
No.
it was a fight about, it was after Kamaru's fight. He wrote Kamaru fought like he said Marty fought like a bitch.
Whatever. Ben Askren is just a non-factor.
He's a troll. He's a troll of epic proportions, and as a fan of funny stuff.
Well, he can't fight. He can't fight Woodley. Like if he fights Kamaru's just gonna punk him so hard. Kamaru will knock him out in the first round easy for sure. He's not gonna fight Colby. So right there, 1 and 2 are gone.
The fight between Colby and Kamaru's already set.
Yeah, which is gonna be really bad for Colby.
It's kind of weird. They kind of are mirror images of each other
to a certain extent.
The difference is Colby is more unrefined.
I don't know. I haven't seen him. I haven't
It's very similar style to Kamaru's.
Yeah.
But he's more.
I mean, obviously, I've seen him fight.
Right.
He's got good striking, but
I
haven't seen him ever
he fights. Him and Kamaru fight almost exactly the same. The difference being is Kamaru is more controlled and technical, where
you've brain farted.
My brain farted.
You fucking went on.
Colby,
right?
Is more like is more violent and savage, if that makes sense. I
don't know if he's more violent and savage, but he's more likely to get caught up in a weird exchange.
Yeah. But
like an uncalculated exchange.
Give me technical and calculated over savage and
yeah. And you know what's crazy is that Kamaru, obviously was super tanked out, gassed out, and he
no, he wasn't.
He was gassed out at the end.
At the end of the fourth round when he remember that point where he was just teeing off.
Yeah, he was going like crazy. But then they say that he might have aggravated a hernia during the third round. So if that's the case, then yeah, man, more power to him. So congratulations to Kamaru.
He made it look easy.
Yeah.
Kamaru made that fight look
nobody
easy.
would have ever expected that.
No.
And you know what's funny? You know what I equate it to? It looked like Rashad Evans' return fight when he had that first fight back where he just kind of wasn't doing anything, and you're wondering, okay, now he's gonna go off.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna go off. No, he doesn't. That's kind of the weird. It literally looked like Tyron was just
did not want to be there.
Not that he didn't want to be there, is that it was he was taking a nap or something, where he just woke up in a nap and he was just I don't really want to be here kind of thing. You know what's funny, though? Out of all the fights, excuse me, the one that was most worthless, and I knew it was going to be completely worthless, was John Jones against Anthony Smith. Yeah. Anthony Smith did not show up to fight. He was just happy to be here.
No, yeah, that's exactly
it.
He
literally was just happy to be here. I was like, I'm so glad that I got to be here. Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
The Anthony Smith that's been on a tear did not show up.
Yeah. So
and he's and I was rooting for him just because of
The potential.
Well, it's like he's got a great story. He's been fighting since he was a kid.
Yeah.
He had, he didn't always have the best record, but he's made all the right adjustments over the last couple years that he's gone on, he's gone on a tear. And I think with a little bit more, I think the big being in the main event just spooked him.
I don't know if it spooked him as much as, like, again, he was just happy to be there.
I think
it's almost like so many people were so excited for him being there.
So what we'll see is how he reacts to this fight. He's either going to come his next fight and he's going to destroy people because he just faced the best fighter on the planet.
That went 5 rounds.
Yeah, but it wasn't so much that. It's just like I think he understands now that he could have done more.
I think in his defense, though, there was 1 or 2 times in the fight where he landed a punch where John Jones was surprised that it landed.
That high kick.
The high kick was one, but the high kick was kind of like, that was John being cocky, and he's like, okay, he got called out for being cocky. But there was a couple of hooks that landed where it was just kind of like, what the fuck just happened? Where John Jones was like, okay, that landed, it shouldn't have landed. That's never landed before, kind of thing. So if you watch the fight over again, you'll see there's a couple of overhands or hooks that land where he's just like, okay, that shouldn't have happened.
With John Jones, man, it's like what we were talking about it, and I said, what makes John Jones incredible is he beats you at what you do the best.
Yeah. Well, that's what he did with Chael.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But here's where I think John Jones, the chink in John Jones' armor, or not even a chink.
It's not chink, it's kink. All right?
No, it's a chink in the armor.
No, chink is the racist. Like, it's kink in the armor.
No, it's chink in the armor.
It's not.
What? Do you want to bet?
You can go ahead and look it up.
Google it right now.
All right.
It's a chink in the armor.
Okay.
Anyways, people don't know how to pressure John Jones. They don't pressure John Jones. He's always moving forward. Mm-hmm. Always. I think if you want to beat John Jones, you have to pressure him the entire time.
I just read something completely different that's got nothing to do with what we were talking about. It just popped up. Like it said, like the definition, it just said a flaw in a plan, an unusual sexual taste or behavior, and it just completely threw me off.
But what's the word?
There are a few ways in which kink and chink are sometimes confused. The most common is the use of in the phrase.
I just put in chink.
Yeah,
What's
of course it's going to be in there, dumb. It's Google. That's what people type in.
Right. Why do you think they type in chink in the armor?
Expert tips.
I've never heard of kink in the armor.
Yeah, no, that became like a whole issue like a couple of years ago with that people just being like, you don't want it to sound racist.
It doesn't sound racist. A chink is like a chunk.
I don't want to keep dead air, so whatever. I'll look it up after because there's like a whole bunch of reading explanation.
Think about it. How could you have a kink in armor? A kink, you could have a kink in a chain.
Which is armor. Chainmail is armor.
That chain, yeah, but not plate mail. Plate mail, you have a chink out of it.
Notable controversies.
Chink versus kink?
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I don't give a shit, honestly. Anyway, yeah, that was a bullshit fight. That was like actually super boring.
Yeah, I almost left.
Yeah, I passed out for I think one of the fights, two of the fights. Whoever the dumb was that won in like 30 seconds and then broke his arm.
Oh
on
yeah.
On the win.
By the way, that dude, that guy, this is Frankie. He's a Brazilian with an American sounding name, and
I don't know. Yeah, I saw like he's stupid. He was too busy celebrating and dislocated his shoulder.
That's
dumb.
But
and didn't somebody else do that like years ago? Someone was celebrating and they jumped or something.
Jumped off the
and they like broke his leg.
Yeah,
dummy.
But that dude is a savage.
Yeah, I have to watch the replay.
And I'm not gonna be like some dummies and say that's the dude that's gonna beat John Jones, because that's ridiculous. He's only had 2 fights in the UFC.
No, there's other people.
But Dude's got potential. He's
Maheta
long.
wants to fight him, I think. Thiago Maheta. Like, that would be a good fight, but Maheta would have to, like, really be on point because that one might be a tough one for him.
Because that dude is long.
Yeah.
He's long and tall, and he's athletic. He's kind of like a John Jones, but more explosive.
And Maheta?
No.
The other guy, yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Whatever. Speaking of fights, Litton finally got a fight. Litton Vassell. He's fighting, I just saw it today. I think at the end of this month, March 22nd, they finally gave him a fight against, Valentin Moldavsky at Bellator 2018.
What do you mean finally gave him a fight?
Because they offered him a fight, a guy backed out, then they offered him another fight, another guy backed out like a week before or something like that. So they kept on getting him pushed back. So now he finally got the fight. Hopefully this guy doesn't back out, but it's...
Linton needs a win.
Linton needs a win, but he just needs like consecutive wins more than anything. I'm curious to see how much he's developed. I haven't seen him train in a while. I haven't been to the gym in a while, but I'd be curious to see. Dude, I've been filming so many people. I got to film Wagner a couple of weeks ago. That was fun. And watching everybody train, it was really cool. And then tomorrow, in the last couple of days, I finished filming with Jazari at ATT, and that's fun. That match between her and Fionn Davies is going to be so good. It's going to be such a good fight. I can't wait to see that one. That's going to be good. That's March 15th, so that's coming up. Yeah, definitely. If you don't have UFC Fight Pass, get it, even just for those, because that's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard you were busy Sunday morning as well.
What did I do Sunday morning?
Took some pictures for a couple people we know.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Brooks and Anna. It's funny, like, so the way that came out, anyway, backtrack a little bit. Some friends of ours have been together forever.
Actually, my partner...
Yeah, one of the head owner of Temple, he was the one that started it, and then everything else obviously worked out the way that it did, and with Lee and you coming in. Anyway, he's been with Anna for years. They're probably like the power couple that everyone would wish they could be. They are as ride or die Bonnie and Clyde as you could imagine. They're awesome people, just genuine good people. So everyone's always said, didn't he propose to her last year? Yeah, he proposed to her last year, or like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And everyone's been, when are you going to get married?
Do you know how he did it?
I remember. I forget now.
He got custom-made boxing gloves.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Which is super cool. It's definitely original between the two. Anyway, it's always been the thing, when are you guys going to get married? Blah, blah, blah. So they go to Vegas, and there was kind of an inkling that that's what was going to happen.
They got married before that.
Yeah, so that it never got really put out there. And then, so Brooks hit me up a couple of weeks ago, goes, hey, when can you come take some photos? I just want to take some random photos real quick. Like, sure. And I've been busy. And then he hit me up the other day, can we do it this weekend? Like, no problem. I got a special camera that I rented out. It'll look awesome, whatever. No one told me what it was for. They just wanted to take photos.
So you didn't know they were married?
No, I had no clue. That was the funny part. I mean, the way that I view them, but the way that I view them is
they're already married.
Yeah. So to me, it's not about the ring. It's, you can tell someone's married, they're fucking married. So I think they mentioned something about it, but they didn't really say anything.
No, they didn't make any announcement.
No,
nothing.
but no, to me, like when I went over to the house the other day, and I was just not paying attention. I was too tired. It was a long fucking week. So I was like, okay, let's go get a photo. We drive down the street in the El Camino, pull over to the side, and where we went was a private area. So Brooks was telling me, hey, we're probably going to have to do this quick because they got cameras, and I know they're going to have people come by really quick to check up on us. And whatever, fuck do I care. I'll just tell them I'm taking a photo. Most people aren't going to give a shit. So I'm rushing to get photos just in case. I'm just going to take photos really quick. We were there all of about 10 minutes tops. And then we get back to the house. Like, all right, thanks. What are you talking about? All right, thanks. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, motherfucker, this was my Sunday morning. If I'm here with my camera, we're taking fucking photos. Like, strap up, let's go. You're sitting over there. You're sitting over there. So I just started just directing them what we're doing.
My favorite photo is them on the bikes.
And that's so like the
bicycles.
Yeah. And that's the one that I forced them to do. I'm like, you get on the bike. And then my favorite one is the moped one. because I told them, get on the moped, you're going to sit side, like stick your head out, whatever. And it came out really cool. It's not my favorite setting, but I like the setting of it, and everybody seems to like the photos. So congratulations to Brooks and Anna. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. I thought it was really funny. Check out Temple Martial Arts on Instagram. You'll see the photos that we're talking about. But yeah, it was just kind of, hey, show up, take photos. And then it was, no, you got me here. Taking fucking photos, all right? I'm not going to just take off and kill this much time for no reason. We're going to get artistic in this bitch. So, but we got some good photos. I'll post probably a couple of them this week. I wanted them to get their,
that was their announcement. Those photos were their wedding announcement, because a lot of people just had no idea.
Yeah. Well, including me when I was taking the fucking photos. So shout out to them. No, I actually got a bunch of cool photos. Released some of the photos that I took with Gilbert for Tatami. Those went out there. What else did we do? I got some cool shots of Jazari. Can't wait for those to come out. The videos, I know that Polaris is working on the 2 videos. I know they started releasing a couple. So check out Polaris. I think it's Polaris Grappling or Polaris Professional on Instagram. And you'll get to see some of the stuff that we worked on. But, yeah, other than that, I had a conference last week, man. I've just been going nonstop. I've been going so nonstop. I don't know how I managed to stay up to watch the fights the other night.
Well, I'm in that same boat with the new job.
Yeah.
Because I had to move my 9 a.m. jiu-jitsu class to 7 a.m. So now Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Can you do it like 6 and then I can come train with you? Because I got to be at work by 7 there.
No. That's as early as it's getting. So what I do is I'm up at 5:45. I get to.
That's got to be just horrendous for you, huh?
No, it's not too bad. Getting up isn't bad. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go to teach. I teach 7 a.m. Take a quick shower, head to the office, teach or work all day. Leave around 5 o'clock. Head back to Temple, teach to 5:30, and then. Monday nights and Wednesday nights I go to yoga, and then Friday nights I have my church jiu-jitsu group that I started. So
What's it like finally being an adult? Do you hate it?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I've been an adult longer than you have.
No. Let's be honest.
I've had.
You've been old.
No,
but you haven't been an adult.
I've been a total adult. Then Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays I wake up and I go do the yoga at 7.
Right.
And then teach, come back, go back to Temple, or go to Temple at 6:30, teach jiu-jitsu, and then on Tuesdays we're doing this. My only night off, if I'm going to say off, is Thursday nights.
Do you have that song? And I've been working in the coal mine. Over and over again?
No.
Because that's what it sounds
But
like.
I love my job. I love,
that's cool,
I'm
man.
burning the candle,
Yeah.
not at both ends. I'm not burning it at both ends.
But it sounds like you got a pretty solid routine.
But I've got a solid routine. It's like I've actually had to turn work down from some side jobs.
Yeah.
Just because in order for me to make it like I have zero free time. So in order for me to carve out time to do these jobs, I got to charge premium price.
Welcome to my world, motherfucker. That's where I've been at for the last couple of years.
Then why haven't you been charging premium price?
I've been charging what I can charge. Because I'm also smart enough to know that I'm not going to outprice people in the same industry that they're not making that much money in. You know what I'm saying? You got to know who you're trying to work with.
Got to know your worth, son.
Hey, so total side note. So did you hear there was another jiu-jitsu black belt caught?
No.
Yeah. There was another jiu-jitsu black belt that was caught doing stuff to their students. I didn't look it up because I really don't want to go in the story.
We
covered it to death, but it was definitely I think it was out of California, but it's like, come the fuck on, man. Like, how many more of these do we have to do? But remember, I've been saying this shit for years. There's too many of these people in these kinds of positions that take advantage of their students, whether they're adults or kids, where they're sitting there, oh, why don't you come here with me and I'll teach you some stuff. I'll teach you one-on-ones.
I just don't get it. It's like people, like somebody told me a long time ago, what do you do if you get if you get power, what are you supposed to do?
Did I ever tell you about the story when I started teaching guitar lessons?
I'm making a point.
I don't care.
I'm making a point.
Okay.
Told me, if you get power, what should you do? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you do? Make it so.
Oh, we talked about this. You said this before.
Make it so nobody can,
Yeah.
take. And he's like, no. If you get power, you give it away.
Yeah.
You give it away. So it's like, I've been an instructor now for 3.5 years, maybe 4 years, and I've never looked at it as a position of power. I've looked at it as a position of, like,
Opportunity to teach.
well, just giving.
Yeah.
It's just a way to give.
Or
And
just share your passion.
share. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but there's plenty of people that use it as it becomes a power trip for them, and I don't know why. I don't understand.
People have that ego. People have. I mean, I always say, you know how people say that jiu-jitsu is the douche filter or whatever. Like, it's a douchebag filter. You can't make it after a certain level. No, that's not true.
No,
there's a ton of douchebags.
There's a ton of
jiu-jitsu.
douchebags. I mean, there's less douchebags there than in real life.
Yeah, I guess, but I think
there's still douchebags.
Yeah, but I think it's those people that might have been awkward or picked on or whatever it is as a child or growing up or whatever, and now they manage to tough it out and get through jiu-jitsu, but now they get into the spot, and now all of a sudden they see that power where they go and abuse it, and it turns into something super demonic like that. I think that's, to me, that's the explanation, because there's too many people doing that, and there's too many people that got into martial arts because they were picked on. So it's the continuation of the pattern is what it is. I think that happens to a lot of people, because I see that way too many times. If I could sit there and give anyone advice about going into a new jiu-jitsu school or a white belt, I would say that the first question I would ask someone is like, how many times have you dated someone that you train with? Like, if they say 4 or 5, I'm out. Fuck it. Because, like, that's the kind of person you're going to be.
Or it depends on how long they've been teaching.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, there's certain...
And if they own their own school, because it's some people, if you own your own school, you're dating, if you're running it right.
Yeah, you're gonna be that. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong, because we know some people that have amazing relationships, and it was started as a professor and a student.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with that. It's the people that abuse that to the point where it's like, hey, how come you're dating this girl now? Weren't you just dating that girl that ended up changing schools? What's going on there, kind of thing. That's when it starts getting out of hand, where you got to question if something's up or not. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that piece of shit, but I just thought it was something to mention because we talked about it so many times, but I didn't want to get into it. I don't need more R. Kelly business.
So I went to the movies on Sunday.
What'd you see?
Alita Battle Angel.
Is that any good?
It was friggin' rad.
Now, did you read the comic?
I did not read the comic.
Okay, see, because I didn't read the comic either, so.
So I had no preconceived notions
right
of what the movie was going to be. I mean, I had an idea from the trailer.
Right.
And it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, is it a good action also?
Great action movie.
Okay.
Great action movie. And like the CGI is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And like at times you almost forget you're looking at CGI.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the whole eye thing clearly just makes it way too awkward for me.
What do you mean? How big her eyes?
Yeah, her giant,
yeah, but like her eyes are gigantic, but all of her reactions, her facial reactions are.
I think that kind of stuff is what starts fucking with the uncanny valley for me.
Yeah.
When you start having those giant eyes and stuff like that, that starts fucking
that's the opposite of the uncanny valley, because it's not the uncanny valley is when it's so realistic, human like it like.
Yeah, it feels grotesque.
It feels grotesque.
Yeah, to me that's grotesque.
Yeah, but it doesn't, because she's got.
It's almost like she's got Graves' disease, where it's like. Someone said. Speaking of which, so when I went to Publix before, I remember like seeing if you want anything. I'm stuck in line, and I look, and there's this lady in one of the checkouts, and I could tell she was tweaking. It looked like she was upset at what the price of everything she was getting. And then I was like, man, why are you buying all this shit if you're clearly upset at how much it's going to cost? And then I realized, oh, no, she's tweaking. She was doing this. She's like, just like sticking her tongue out like in her gums and stuff and just making weird faces, and then all of a sudden her eyes started bugging out. I'm like, now mind you, the only time I had that is if I was really fucked up on shrooms, where you start doing like the open eyes, like what's going on over here? It's like, oh, she's tweaking while grocery shopping.
On what?
Oh no,
Coke or
no, she wasn't coked out. That's definitely something like,
I don't know. See, what's funny is I don't know anything about. I wouldn't be able to.
like, you can tell someone is coked out usually just because their motions are quick, and they dart their eyes kind of fast, or they'll have the joke is always the running jaw. They'll either talk a lot, or they clench, or they wiggle their jaw a lot. You're like, it's a weird twitch there. You just see them just do that. That's kind of the telltale sign, and most people don't realize when they end up doing that stuff that everybody else knows, because not from any kind of facial gestures or anything like that, they still have powder just chilling on their nose hairs. So you could tell. You could definitely tell. When's it like the first time you ever saw someone doing that?
I've never seen cocaine, so I've never.
But you never seen someone like that. It's like, oh, you can tell they just did it.
No, I've never been in that
The
situation.
first time I ever saw someone.
It makes me sound naive.
No, it's probably good. It's just because you surround yourself with better people than I did, evidently. But the first time that I ever was anywhere near that stuff, that at least that I knew of, I was in an apartment complex with, like, living there, obviously, with my family. I was 15, 16. And I was with a buddy of mine at the pool, and we were just sitting there at the pool, minding our own business. Not even swimming or, like, on the recliners. No, we were just sitting on one of those tables. And this guy was sitting on the opposite side, and he was just sitting there, like, minding his own business, but he was acting kind of weird. He came up to us, and he goes, hey, guys, I'm going to go do some lines inside the bathroom. I'll give you $20 if you just keep a lookout for me. And we had no clue what the fuck he's talking about, but all we heard is, just keep a lookout, we'll give you $20. You're like, sure, no problem. And he, sure enough, went in there and just snorted up a bunch of lines. Like, you could hear him. We were just sitting there looking at each other like, what is going on? He came out, gave us $20 each, and then took off.
So weird.
It's crazy, man. I mean, I've seen it all, like, when it comes to being into music and stuff like that. I definitely seen all kinds of crazy shit. But
yeah, what's funny is like one of the things about drug
usage
is people don't think that they know that other people on the outside.
I don't
like,
think
I've
so.
been drunk and I've been high.
Right.
Not often.
Right.
But I've been drunk and I've been high. And I still, to this, every once in a while I go, I wonder if people know how drunk I am, or I wonder if people know that I'm high. Like, if I'm out in public. And I
think everybody goes through that. You either get into the phase where you get super paranoid, or you're going to be like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm sure, like, if you're thinking it, people know it.
I don't think so, because I've done some stuff where I'm sitting there like, do they know? And then people have no fucking clue.
Did I tell you about my last session on my tattoo?
Yeah.
So what I was doing is I was hitting a pen before getting tattooed.
I think you're not supposed to do that.
No, you're fine. It's fine. Not hard. I was just enough to take the edge off.
I just want to take the edge off, man.
Like, so I would hit it periodically through the tattoo.
You didn't get drug tested for your new job?
No.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter. This was years ago now.
Right.
And for my last session, I was driving, and I went to take a hit, and I got a call from my business partner, Eric.
Right.
And I went to say hello but I sucked in, and I took a huge hit. A huge hit. So big that I started coughing my brains out at a red. I was at a red light, by the way, while this was happening. I was on Congress and Woolbright.
Right.
By the time I got to military in Woolbright, I was freaking out because I was like, where am I going? And then I was like, wait a second, I know where I'm going, but what happens if I don't know how to get there? So I got really high really quick because it only took one hit for me because I'm such a lightweight.
Yeah.
And I got there and I was supposed to send an email, and I totally forgot to send an email. And I went in and started sitting around talking to my artist about what colors we were going to do.
Right.
And it hit me that I forgot to send this email, and I'll be all right back. And I'm sure the whole time I was like, I know I was blabbering. About colors.
Knowing you, you're probably just kind of going into like weird like facial gestures.
No, I couldn't even open my eyes. I was so he started on my elbow because my elbow was still open, and I passed out. I passed out, and then we finished it. And then by the time we finished the tattoo, the high was gone. I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Dude, that happened to me yesterday. I went to the dentist and they were doing like a cleaning and everything. I was so tired. I didn't think it was possible, but I started falling asleep at the dentist.
I've fallen asleep at the dentist.
I can't do that. That's how tired I was that they were starting to do that. I tell you, I chipped like a bunch of teeth, like randomly. Dude, like I had to go and get a bunch of work done. Because I was literally flossing and went... And all of a sudden, like an old, like just crown that I had just popped off. I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. So now I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of work.
It's like I've never had a cavity.
And well, you never have brushed your teeth either. I can smell that shit from here.
I brush my teeth. Actually, I don't brush my teeth daily.
See, I know. I know. I'm sitting across from you.
I brush my teeth every other day, and then both days on the weekend. Then I floss the other days, and I rinse. Every day.
You just rinse after?
No, I mean, I rinse with Listerine after every day.
That I have to do every day.
And the I used to be freaked out to tell people my
your hygiene
hygiene habits with my mouth because they're like, oh, you don't brush your teeth every day, and it all stemmed from I read an article about how brushing your teeth every day
damages your enamel. I read that too. To be honest, I think it just depends on your genetics and how like your teeth are. Because genetically, I have weaker enamel. Like my mom had to do a whole bunch of dental work, and my dad too. But it's just weaker enamel. We all brush our teeth every day. We all floss. It's just the way that it is. That's why I take so good care of mine anyway. That's why even now I just stopped drinking coffee. It's like. Except for last week, I didn't fucking tell you. I was so exhausted. So we were supposed to record last week, but I was actually hosting an award show.
And I was actually driving by
the hotel,
and I was like, I was texting. I was like,
when you were texting me, I was like in the middle of like giving my speech on stage and stuff like that. But I stopped drinking coffee January 1st. That was like my last cup of coffee. I had a headache, a consistent low-level headache for 2 weeks. I was drinking a lot of coffee leading up to that. So I quit it. I think I had 1 cup maybe just to kind of give myself a, haha, congratulations, you went 30 days with no coffee. Got another headache for a week. So I was like, all right, I'm done. I was so exhausted at this conference because I went Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, no sleep. I got a couple of hours that Tuesday night, and then another 2 days of no sleep. I was drinking 8 cups a day just to get by. I had to just constantly drink coffee. After that, and then I went to the dentist. I'm like, I'm done, man. I can't. As much as I love coffee, I'm going to have to take a giant break from it. I fucking love coffee, but I got to take a break.
That's it. Coffee doesn't affect me.
It doesn't affect me either. I just love the routine. I needed the caffeine. I had like 5 or 6 cups.
Caffeine doesn't affect me.
Yeah, but at 5 or 6 cups, it's.
I'm sure after 5 or 6 cups, I'll be fucking. But I drink 1 to 2. Well, I drink probably 2 to 4 cups a day because I drink a big.
Yeah, see, I do too. Yeah,
mug full. But it's the flavor of coffee that I like. It's not that I don't love the the feeling. I don't get a jolt from it.
Yeah.
I could drink that same cup of that same like
Jug.
2 cups of coffee,
Right.
and go right to sleep, no problem.
No, me too.
When I did that vegetarian fast, the Daniel fast, there was no coffee on it. I drank coffee for 21 days. Didn't have a headache. None of that stuff. I just love the taste of coffee.
Yeah,
I really
coffee's
do.
delicious. You never had the caveman coffee.
No. Well, I've had
The nitro.
No. I've had what's it called coffee, bulletproof coffee.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
But I haven't had caveman.
Caveman coffee is really fucking good.
What-
It's actually really worth the money.
What I've noticed is that here we go.
It should be all right. It's not too loud. It'll pass by. So you guys hearing that? That's an airplane.
Because we're at the double secret hangar.
Hangar 18. We never did actually come up with a name. I was going with Hangar 18. That's what I want to go with.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out. But
You're good.
not bad. So my grandmother got me started on coffee when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
It was like mostly milk, splash coffee,
Yeah.
and some sugar.
It's so good that way too, though. It's so fucking good.
Basically my grandmother was making me lattes without heating up the milk.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, and I used to love it. And I would drink it. She would make it for me at night before I went to bed. And I was always
She might
always
have been
able
giving you like decaf and didn't know.
No,
it.
they didn't do decaf. It's just that was my grandparents. That was their like ritual. Every night they
Right.
would make coffee.
Yeah, but see, if for an Italian or Spanish culture, that's normal. For like, if you came over to my house, right, and we're having a party, let's say we're having a barbecue. If this was back in the day when we were all younger, it would be everyone shows up around 4 or 5, start grilling, start having drinks, whatever, relaxing. Start eating around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then you eat until 10.
10, and
then people
desserts.
start bullshitting. Dessert comes out,
Cards
and then
come out.
becomes like coffee, then the cards, whatever, and then it goes on to 1 or 2 o'clock. So everybody's drinking coffee, and everybody's fine. If you're in more of the Argentinian culture, it'll be yerba mate, so you'll drink mate, and you'll have that. Everybody has that. I brought you one, didn't I? I brought you a cup from Argentina, didn't I?
Not the cup you brought.
I gave you the bomba.
Yeah.
El bombillo, yeah. Yeah, but that's the... Damn, did I really bring you that from Argentina?
I don't know.
Yeah, I gave you one. I brought it from Argentina.
I don't know where you...
Shit, did
you
we,
get-
have
you
we
didn't
known each
know-
other that long? Fuck.
No. You know what you gave me? You didn't give me that. You gave me actual tea.
Oh, yeah. I gave you the tea.
You gave me the tea. You didn't give me...
Yeah, but even then, that means I brought that back from Argentina. Fuck, I didn't realize we knew each other that long. Because
Well,
that was a long time ago.
Well, it might have been old because we've known each other probably
6 years?
5 or
years?
6 years.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 or 7.
No, it can't be that long.
I think so. Because I've had my blue belt for a while. So, yeah, I think it's like 6 years.
I think it's, yeah.
Yeah. Man,
Tom's been gone for 2.
2.5 now.
2.5.
Speaking of which, well, I told you about what happened after we had that podcast where someone reached out to me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that podcast with Tom was actually really cool. I think it definitely helped out a lot of people.
And what's funny is what somebody else said, like, Luke Perry passing away this
You see how many people are freaking out over that now?
Well, like, saying how cool of a guy he was.
Yeah.
Like,
But
which
now
is
all of a
cool.
sudden, but now everybody's freaking out about having a stroke. Say, oh well, if Luke Perry was so young, he had a stroke. I mean, the guy was 50 something, right?
52. It's
52.
young. That's young to die from a stroke.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
No.
50s are the new 40s. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like 52 is young to die from a stroke. He was strong. He was
But
healthy.
can you imagine this guy did so much? He did so much charity work, and he dies, and now he's like the poster child for getting your heart checked so you don't have a fucking stroke.
Well, it's important, man. It's
And I'm not
important.
saying it's not, but
just
how
like
much does
just
that
like
suck?
Tom, you
Yeah.
know.
Tom looks like the poster child now. Second.
But but it's one of those things. There's things that we don't realize is going wrong with our bodies. We feel good. We
Right.
look fine.
But you don't know. You
But
don't know.
you
the
don't
little
know what's
things.
going on
Well, most
the
people
inside.
don't. You're not gonna feel the.
And most men don't go to the doctors.
Yeah.
I just ran out of my high blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
I've been on high blood pressure medication since I was 33.
Really?
My mom and my grandfather both got put on it in their 30s too, so it's a genetic thing.
Right.
And I just ran out of it, and I went to make an appointment, or I went to call in to see if my doctor would call in a refill, and they're like, no. I'm like, why? They're like, you haven't been here since December of 2016.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Or 2017.
Yeah, you got to go back and get
Right.
it checked out.
But it's like, I don't go to the doctor unless something's wrong with me. Most men don't go to the doctor to
but you know
just
me,
to
I'm
go
the
to the
same
doctor.
way. Like, I'm
no,
the
I know
same
that
way.
it's a man thing. We don't go to the doctor.
But now, like, with the thing with Tom and other stuff with my family and stuff, now I'm just more, all right, I'm just going to go in. I'll take the hit. I'd rather just go in and get it checked up. And I'm paying the price for going so long without going to the doctors and stuff like that.
And it's funny, but jiu-jitsu injuries are the same way.
Yeah.
You don't go to doctors.
Yeah.
You just rest, or you train around the jiu-jitsu injury. Look,
Yeah.
I've been dealing with my bad back for 2 years now.
Yeah, well, I took 8 months off because I pulled my groin muscle. That was 2016. I had to take the 8 months off.
Right.
And then I tore my MCL. That one I went through. I took like a month off, but then I went through the rest.
So it's like it's funny how we'll deal with these injuries, because
Even worse if you got a high pain tolerance.
The surgery, like, you probably should have gotten surgery on your groin, because but you probably didn't have insurance at the time.
Yeah.
But like, if you could have had insurance, you probably would have been back quicker than 8 months.
I would rather go to like Novogenics, get a pure P shot instead of.
Oh, imagine getting that in your groin.
It probably would be really good for you. You'd probably have boners for days.
I don't want boners for days.
I do.
The doctor says that commercial says if you have a boner for more than 4 hours, you need to call somebody.
What
Don't
do
you remember
do?
that commercial?
Yeah, no, let's say 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours.
No, I think it's 4 hours.
I forget.
A 4 hour
fucking
erection.
Someone actually gave me the medical explanation as to why that's bad. Have you ever heard it?
No.
Because I'm completely going way back into my mind to try and pull this out, but basically it's because it pulls into your like junk, and it actually starts to like stay in there, and it starts to, I guess, like either like rot the muscle or ruin like the muscle, and it starts to like decay. So oh shit, that was creepy. And then you basically lose it altogether.
What do you mean lose it?
Like you lose it, like it ain't working no more.
Oh, lose the ability to.
Yeah, to have one. Like it's basically done for. Like you might actually have to get it like amputated. So that's an actual thing. Yeah, I forget the actual specifics, but I think it was our Ty. Ty, I remember, because I asked him, like, really? It's like, is that really a thing? Because I mean, if I walked around with a boner for 8 hours, I'd be totally fine, as long as it's like not during a work time or something. I'd be like, hey, what's up? Knocking cups off of desks and stuff.
Well, I just learned something recently that would have came in handy years ago.
Tuck it.
No, how to make an erection go away. Like, you ever remember when you were in school? Remember?
You never did the backpack? You got to do the backpack.
Where you cover it up?
Yeah, you put the backpack in the front. That's why people carry backpacks. Here's a pro tip. If you ever see a guy walking around with a backpack in the front, he's either trying to steal from you
or he's covering
a boner.
But I just learned how to make those spontaneous boners go away.
I don't even want to know.
You don't want to know? It's a great trick. It's easy. And I've experimented with it.
Punch yourself in the junk?
No. All you do is you flex your quads as hard as you can.
Oh, that's so stupid.
But it works.
So what? You telling me you just made yourself get a boner and be like,
no, I didn't make myself get a no. After reading this this tip, I got, we get spontaneous boners. So I got a spontaneous boner. I was like, I don't want this spontaneous boner. Let me see what I can do with it.
So what? You kill your morning wood? Just be like, check this out.
You just flex your calves as hard as you can.
Wait, you said your quads?
Yeah, I meant quads.
But
not
which
your
one
calves.
is it?
It's your quads.
Your boner knowledge is very minimal, evidently.
Because the calves are too far away. It's gotta be the quads. It's freaky. I was like, oh, look at that, it works. Like it's not like immediate.
At what point in time are you after, I don't know, let's say 25, where you'd be like, oh man, I really can't have this boner right now. I got to get rid of this really quick.
Like if you're like,
it's not like you're walking around Disney and all of a sudden like, oh, I got a boner.
Well,
I got to get rid of this.
I'll tell you, like.
Are you going to church?
No. I was in Starbucks the other day working, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and like I got to go to the bathroom, and I was about to get up. I'm like, whoa, can't get up right now. I got a boner. I wasn't thinking of anything. I wasn't watching anything. I was literally working on an article, but like sometimes
something
it just
about
happens.
that article will just set you off, huh?
I think honestly, it's like sitting in certain chairs. Like will massage the prostate.
What kind of chair you sitting on, man?
Wood. Have you sat on a wooden chair at it's like it's like there's nothing there. It's just
I
wood.
can easily say I've never gotten a boner from sitting on a wooden chair.
Well,
I don't know what kind of wooden chairs you're sitting on.
The ones at Starbucks. Anyways, I had to go to the bathroom, and I wasn't going to get up and walk through Starbucks with a rager.
Right.
So I sat there, and I flexed my quads really hard for about 20 seconds. And then after that, I waited another like 30 seconds to a minute, and it went away. I was like, oh, that works. And went to the bathroom and came back, sat back down.
Yeah, I can't think of a situation where I can.
Like you're not at work and all of a sudden you've gotten one?
No.
I'm sorry, your junk doesn't work.
No, my junk works just fine. I just have enough control with myself not to be like, oh my God, I got a boner.
It's not even that I'm thinking of anything. Sometimes they just happen. You're saying you don't get spontaneous boners?
I mean, I do, but not while I'm sitting there at work.
Why is sitting at work matter of anywhere else? Spontaneous is spontaneous.
My head's in the game, I guess.
So is mine. Maybe that's the problem. I don't
know what kind of game you're playing.
I'm so into what I'm doing. It
just turns you on.
No, I'm not.
This article.
I don't even care. It's like it's not even about that. I wish it was about that.
Probably just because you're relaxed.
Well, no, it's just my brain is.
But you're also
my
like,
body's
don't you take stuff too?
What do you mean?
Don't you take like? Oh no, that's somebody else. I was saying that like you take like the IVs. You do like the replacement therapy.
No.
That's funny. No, sorry.
But
you're on your own. You're on your own there, boner man.
Well, I guarantee you, there's plenty of men out there whose junk works.
I think back in the day, it used to happen to me when I was in private school and you're like in church. You're like, damn it. Now I got to sit there and tough this one out. It's like, fuck, I got to go up there for communion.
Or have you ever like nodded out, like you're at your desk and you take a little nap?
No, because I actually do my fucking job when I'm working. I don't just randomly take a nap in the middle of the workday.
Sometimes you need to take a nap in the middle of the day. Sometimes I'll take them for lunch. Like not like when I worked at an office, what I would do is like
sleep during the
take a lunch and I'd go and sleep in my car just to take a quick break.
Yeah, I've done that like a lunch break. I'll be like power nap in the car, but not like at my desk. Be like,
well, what I would do is instead of going to my car, I would just stay at my desk. And I put my head down or
are you one of those people that you can just close your eyes and instantly fall asleep?
I can go to sleep anywhere.
I fucking can't stand that. It takes me like a good, I don't know, anywhere from like 30 minutes to like 45 minutes to really finally pass out.
Once we're done here, I'll get home. I'll pack my bag for the next day, say my prayers, put my head down on the pillow, and within 2 minutes, I'll be sleeping.
Yeah, that shit does not work for me. I
can fall asleep right here in about 5 minutes.
I have to take like ZMA to fall asleep. Like I can't do melatonin. I take ZMA. That I found out like really helps.
Why can't you do melatonin?
It just puts like a hole in my stomach. It literally feels like fire. It makes you feel like if you have like an ulcer, and it just whatever you eat just like sets your stomach on fire.
You should try the Onnit melatonin spray.
I tried that. That's nothing that like nothing with melatonin in there works for me. Like sure, I'll fall asleep, but then I'll wake up with my stomach on fire, absolutely on fire. ZMA. So like I had for those of you who might have issues sleeping as well, I got so fed up with I barely slept through high school. I would have to randomly sleep during the day. Honestly, I could not fall asleep at night in high school. And I got so fed up with it that I just started doing tons and tons of research on there. And was figuring out, okay, well, what's your diet like? What are you doing? This, and this. And then I found out that a majority of the reasons why people have sleeping disorders and it's not insomnia is because of lack of zinc and magnesium in their diet. So I was like, okay, well, what can you take for this then? Melatonin has a lot of issues. If you take a lot of melatonin, it starts to fuck with your body's natural production of melatonin. So then you're going to have to keep on taking these sleeping pills to go to sleep. The ZMA doesn't work that way because it's zinc. It's all just supplements. So and it even has, I want to say it's like B6 or something in it.
B6 will keep you awake.
It's one of the Bs. It's either B12 or B6 that is in the ZMA like supplements, no matter which one you get. Man, you're supposed to take 3, so I take 3. Within 15 minutes, I'm out, and it's the best sleep you're going to get. I still have the issues where I wake up in the middle of the night, but that's just obviously in my body. I could easily go back to sleep at that point in time than I would if I didn't take it. But that thing saved my life. And that and those computer glasses, those just fucking...
Computer glasses?
Yeah, the blue blockers that I wear. Yeah, I haven't shown you those?
No.
You should get those too, man. That would probably be really good.
I got to wear these glasses.
Right, but you can put a little, like, not veneer, but like a little, like, tint on them. And it's just blue blockers. So what it does is it blocks the white light, the blue light that comes off of your screen. Because it fucks with your circadian rhythm.
Right. I heard that.
I started wearing them because now I'm on the computer, 12, 14 hours a day, easily. Even with my phone, man, I'll put them on to play video games, to work on the computer, whatever. When I edit photos, it gives a little bit of an extra tint, so I have to compensate for it. But, it helped me out so much. I don't get, like, my eyes don't strain. I don't get any kind of headaches. You definitely got to try them out. It's so worth it. Everyone that I've gotten to try it, everybody's loved them. It saved my freaking life for sure, because I was starting to really lose my vision. This eye is really bad, though. I'm starting to go blind. I was going to ask you a question. I totally forgot now. So speaking of Luke Perry, the guy from Prodigy, Keith Flint, died too. But you see what happened?
Well, I know he committed suicide.
Is it fucked up for me to think that if that was me, I would have set myself on fire?
Because you're the fire starter.
Yeah. Wouldn't that have been like the way to fucking go out if you were him?
I don't know, but that first album, The Fat of the Land.
That's not the first album.
Well, no, the one that
that was the big one. Yeah, Fat of the Land was the one that really set them off because Firestarter came out before that.
By the way, that album still holds up.
No, that album is sick.
Right now to this day. Smack My Bitch Up.
Smack My Bitch Up. It's got Firestarter. It's got I listened to that album incessantly. That was my first real introduction to house music and techno and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's electro.
Yeah, I listened the shit out of that album. I don't know how I didn't wear it out. And I never got to see them live. They played, I think they were here like a couple years ago. Live. Did you?
I saw them live down at, it was
like Buzz Bake Sale or something?
No. They played a rave down in Miami.
Yeah.
That I went to, and it was, this was years ago. It was right after Fat of the Land. Like, they were the big headliner.
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
But it was down in Miami at Bayside. So I did see them live. They didn't release how he committed suicide.
I think they did today, but they just said that he committed suicide. Which just sucks, man. You never know. It's funny. I was thinking about that the other day.
And King Kong Bundy was the third.
King Kong Bundy. I think somebody else did too. But
they always say celebrities die in threes. Luke Perry, Keith Flint.
Yeah. Geez.
King Kong Bundy.
Smack My Bitch Up. Breathe. Diesel Power. Funky shit. Serial Thriller. Minefields. I walk through minefields. Fuel My Fire. Yeah, this album is the shit. That was probably the definitive 90s techno album.
Yeah. You know what still holds up? Speaking of,
evidently your boners.
Well, yeah, that's but Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah.
Still holds up.
Yeah, it's a good album.
That album, by the way, this year is 30 years old.
Really? Fuck.
Came out in 89.
Try to think what other albums that could really, really hold up. Like, obviously, like Metallica's Black Album or Master of Puppets. Those albums are good.
Well, Appetite for Destruction.
Appetite for Destruction, for sure. That album is hits front to back. Every single one of those songs on that album is a hit.
I can remember, like, when I listened to Appetite, I can go back in time.
Yeah.
And,
for sure.
And
I still have the tape. I still have the tape when I first found it was a bootleg copy of Guns N' Roses. That is hands down a pivotal moment in my life. That I'll never get rid of that tape. I'll never get rid of it.
Really, this year, I really want to, like, when they tour, and like, hopefully they tour again.
They are. They're setting up the tour dates.
Well, I thought we were talking about.
There's Kiss. I definitely want to see Kiss. I definitely want to see. I'm gonna see Tosh Sultana. You don't know her, right?
No.
She's actually really good. She's from Australia, but she's coming in concert. I bought my tickets as soon as they came out. Hopefully the Dirty Heads. I think the Dirty Heads are coming up here or down here in a couple of weeks. That's my buddy's band.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Dirty Heads.
But that's all the way up in Orlando.
Oh, fuck that.
It's worth it though. They're such a good show, and I think it's with like the Expendables.
But like, I would drive to Orlando for.
You didn't even drive to Orlando for Clutch.
I understand that. I said I would drive to Orlando for Guns N' Roses.
Well, that's where they had it last time too.
Well, they did Miami as well.
Yeah, those concerts sold out. They were insane.
Yeah, they were quick. But Guns N' Roses. I've seen Metallica a bunch. So I don't need to see Metallica again. I would. I'm just saying.
Slayer's coming. Shit, I gotta get my tickets for Slayer.
It's their farewell tour.
Yeah, I gotta get my tickets for that. Fuck, I gotta look that up. I'm looking that up right now. I gotta get my ticket for that. I need to go to that show.
Yeah,
I missed Pantera. So
I would like
can't
to see
miss Slayer.
Kiss. I would like to see Kiss, even though it's not really Kiss. It's like
It's still Kiss.
Gene and Paul, and
that's the downside of when you do that. When you have like the makeup and shit on, you make yourself susceptible to becoming what's called a ghost band. You ever heard of that phrase?
no. But I assume it could be anybody. Like
May 11th. So cool. I gotta get my ticket for that. So whenever you have whether it's a composer or artist and the band keeps going, it's considered a ghost band. So Glenn Miller, like the orchestra, like old like jazz swing orchestra, Glenn Miller. They still have the Glenn Miller band, but it's a ghost band. It's just all completely different people.
But it's kind of like, but at one point, they knew somebody from the previous incarnation of the band played with somebody that's in the band.
No, not
now.
even. You don't even have to be. You don't even have to be. So if there's like a Miles Davis quintet, Miles Davis is clearly not alive, and half of those people aren't, then you could still call it the Miles Davis quintet, and you could go. So like the Jimi Hendrix Experience, if there was a Jimi Hendrix Experience going out there now, where it was just sanctioned that that's them, that's considered a ghost band. That's why like Queen is still Queen and not a ghost band, even though they have what's his face in there.
Yeah, I'm listening to the David Lee Roth on
The podcast
on Rogan.
Yeah, I still gotta listen to that.
He's awesome, and he's like
so
really
cool.
he's really intelligent. He goes
Yeah.
deep into stuff, and he's talking about how there's like a difference between bands. He's like Toto's one of my favorite. Like I can't remember the term he used.
Prog rock.
No. It had nothing to do with that. Like there was a certain kind of band,
Right.
Meaning, you could walk. You could. Those guys can walk in public anywhere,
And you'll never know who they
and
are.
you'll never know that.
Yeah.
And they could replace anybody in the band, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Same with Journey.
Yeah.
They could replace anybody in the band.
They did.
Right. Even Steve Perry.
Well, you know how he got his his replacement.
Yeah.
It's like off a YouTube video.
Yep.
That sucks.
But he's like, but Van Halen, you couldn't do that. They tried doing that, and it's like, it was just personally, I loved Sammy Hagar and Van Halen. I loved 5150, OU 812.
They're good albums.
On the Awful Carnal Knowledge. It's a different. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's not the same as Van Halen. With
I can't
David
even
Lee
say
Roth.
I didn't grow up in the heyday of Van Halen in the 80s and all that stuff. But Van Halen, David Lee Roth is Van Halen. You couldn't have Hot for Teacher. You couldn't have, gosh, I can't even think of half the song. Like Ice Cream Man, California Girls. Like, even though like that's a cover, like you couldn't have Dance the Night Away. All those songs that are just
Running with the Devil.
Panama. Like, can Sammy Hagar really pull off Panama?
Well, no, but they didn't. That's the beauty.
Well, that's when they did the Best of Both Worlds tour.
Yeah, but Sammy Hagar didn't sing.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go see Van Halen, you want to hear Panama. You want to hear.
No,
Jump.
I would if I go see Van Halen, like the only incarnation of Van Halen I wouldn't want to see was the one with the guy from Extreme, Gary. Can't remember his name.
The singer?
The singer for Extreme. That really wasn't Extreme.
That was they had like, I remember the music video was like them in like some ice cavern and stuff like that.
Yes.
That album didn't do too good.
Yeah, and I can't remember if that was before or after.
If you want to see
they
how
got rid of Michael Anthony, which was
that was way before. No, that was way before. Michael Anthony got replaced only like 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, by
Van Halen's
Wolfgang, which, like,
doesn't it suck how like I know that fucking much about that? That's how. Yeah.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah,
it's like what I think it was. But what's funny is Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar
started off their own thing.
Have their own thing. Which Sammy Hagar, what's funny is I've heard Sammy Hagar say how important Michael Anthony has always been to the Van Halen sound, even with David Lee Roth, because of his voice, how his voice backed everybody else's.
Yeah, because it's definitely not his bass playing. His bass playing is definitely super replaceable. He didn't do that much. He doesn't have any crazy bass solos or anything that you'd ever think of.
No, but look, he's in a band with classically trained musicians like Eddie and
Eddie and Alex. Yeah, no, like Eddie is just like, if you ever want to see how bad his coke problem was, look up Van Halen takes PV guitar tour. So he's walking around, I think it's PV, might have been Ernie Ball, whatever. He's taking a tour around this like guitar factory, and he's talking, and he looks at the camera, and his teeth are black. They are black. They're destroyed. His teeth are just a total wreck. And then you can see that he ended up getting like dentures or veneers or whatever, but his teeth are disgusting. Like, go look it up. It's really bad to see how, and you could tell that he was on something. Like, he was completely coked out on that whole like trip. It's like, come on, dude, you can put it down.
It's funny as when I was a kid, Eddie seemed like this shy, like he didn't seem like he would be,
well, because you never put it out there,
like a band leader.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They never put that out there. They knew the image that they were portraying. They knew exactly what they were doing, but then their ego got the best of them, and then like Sammy's like, or David Lee Roth isn't gonna sit there and be like, hey guys, fine, I'll deal with your bullshit. No. Come on now. And David Lee Roth has a pretty good album on his own. Yankee Rose is really good. He's got a couple of good songs. And he did them with Steve Vai.
No, yeah. Yes. Yankee Rose, and then what was the other one?
He did the cover, I'm a Gigolo.
Yeah, but he also did
Just
like...
a Gigolo.
Standing on top. No, that's
still Van Halen.
Yeah, no.
Standing on top.
The video of him on the mountain, of David Lee Roth on the mountain.
Can't remember that.
I can't remember what that song was, but it's it's funny how a lot of that music, like 5150, is like the soundtrack to
your childhood.
The soundtrack of when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
Like, if I put that in,
it just takes you back.
I'm 13 years old again. And I listened to it all summer at my grandparents' up in Buffalo. Yeah. Like, that tape didn't come out of my yellow Sony Walkman.
Yeah. Remember when people had, you know, I was thinking about the other day. Remember when people had the portable Walkman, the earphones with the antenna
Oh yeah. It
the
just
hell
got
were they
radio
called?
station. That's the original Walkman.
But no, it wasn't a Walkman. It was something else that they called it. So for people who don't know, if you want to get thrown into the past to see how crazy shit really was, what the hell were they called? I guess it wasn't a Walkman.
That was
No.
the original Walkman was a radio that it was no tape.
No, the
or anything.
Walkman was the actual
the
tape cassette.
original Walkman.
Yeah.
Was just a headset with a radio.
So imagine like headphones that you get on an airplane, the old school, traditional, simple, over the ears, with a solid 6-inch antenna sticking out of each ear. And you have a little dial that you could change from AM to FM, and then you could, like, the other ear was maybe 4 or 5 different random number stations that they put on there.
No, it had a dial.
Some had a tuner,
dial,
but then the other ones had like automatic. It would be like 99.5 and then 88.5. Fuck, man, I remembered that the other day. It's like shit would never work now. But then you look at it, it's like, how's that really that much different from like the earpods?
Well, it's because it's connected to a phone and you don't have
Right, but at the end of the day, you're carrying around more stuff now than you did back then.
Yeah, like as far as a phone, I mean, the only thing that you really added was a phone,
Right.
which
You're not using while you're running other than playing the music, so then you really just made it more inconvenient for yourself more than anything, unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, now it's like I don't know if phones have become.
I'm gonna bring that back. You got the fanny pack. I'm bringing back those headphones. It'd actually be pretty cool to have them, and you just kind of hack them and turn them into little like USB MP3 players. That'd actually be kind of funny.
No.
Yeah, real bullshit.
I'd rather it'd be cooler if you turn that helmet into an
actual
music.
Yeah, I would. Well, I wanted to. I wanted to turn this thing into an actual usable helmet for the plane, for when I go out on the plane with my dad. But I would have to take that thing apart, and I do not know that much about electronics.
Think about your dad does.
No, it's a lot of work. I think it's time to wrap it up, right?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, we should wrap it up. We learned anything this week? The last 2 weeks?
Yeah, how to get rid of a boner.
Oh, man. Well, that only goes to half our audience. What about the women?
You think half of our audience is women?
Yeah, actually, I do. I think a lot of them do.
I do not think so.
I'm pretty sure it's true. Maybe don't need to believe me.
Well, you know how they can make a boner go away?
Well, there's different ways to that. All right, that is going to be it for us. As always, please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all those awesome places. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Oh, that's something I wanted to tell you. I'll tell you off the air. Follow Shawn at Gorilla Boy BJJ. Follow me at Sonder Marketing. And you can follow the podcast at Jiu-Jitsu Radio. Check out our sponsors, Choke Aloha, Giraffe Choke, Jiu-Jitsu Soap Co., and Nomad. Thank you all for the support, and we will catch you